back, Shepard. Thanks.
Shepard!
Come on!
I'm not going. You saw those men back there. There's a million more like them, and they need a leader.
We're in this fight together.
It's a fight we can't win. Not without help. We need every species, and all their ships, to even have a chance at defeating the Reapers. Talk to the Council. Convince them to help us.
What if they won't listen?
Then make them listen. Now go! That's an order.
I don't take orders from you anymore, remember?
Consider yourself reinstated, Commander. You know what you have to do.
I'll be back for you, and I'll bring every fleet I can. Good luck.
You too, Shepard.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another round of Arbitration Studios as we continue our journey across the whole damn thing of the Mass Effect trilogy and Mass Effect 3. I'm JP Arbiter.
And I'm Captain Jack.
And we have left Earth, regrettably, in protest, but it was also the only thing we could do.
And we were ordered to do so.
What's going on?
Which of course does not sit well with our friend Vega.
It doesn't sit well with us either.
Well, no, it doesn't. But here we have the situation where we kind of get it assured that, like right now, I'm really feeling.
Don't you think I'd rather stay
I'm really feeling that Vega has punched a superior officer a time or two.
And we just earned his respect by just saying, "Cut the shit."
Also, I love how they made Vega sort of like circa 1994 Marvel Comics male figure.
The kind of men you're sexually attracted to.
Absolutely.
I'm more of a Twinkie kind of guy, but
hey, we all like what we like.
Now,
Krogan are really my thing.
Oh dear God. Oh, I think I'm gonna bench you for Tuchanka and bring on High Test.
I can understand why.
I mean, really, if we're gonna be honest, High Test is gonna be coming in for the Tuchanka thing anyway, because he is a very model of a scientist Solarian.
He is.
So
here we have again, just the voice of sci-fi. Like Lance Hendrickson is,
Give him $50 and lunch, and he'll do a job for you.
Yeah, but his voice is so synonymous with science fiction.
Blame his performance in Aliens. He nailed Bishop.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely nailed it.
Plate. Sorry. What were we talking about?
No,
Mars.
Mars.
We're talking
We're
about
headed
Mars.
to Mars. And just an aside on the boob plate. BioWare does get better progressively with its armor and having its
weren't they
armor be
in Baldur's Gate 1? Weren't they one of like the progenitors of the chainmail bikini?
No. Okay. No, they were the exact opposite. They moved away from that.
Okay.
They were the ones moving away from that, and they have slowly moved away from that to the point where
the other side was I discard the boob plate with the two distinct boobs, like as soon as I can.
Yeah, so. and the fact that there are options to do that is pretty impressive, going forward. But they kind of eliminated it almost entirely in Dragon Age 3. So, you get better as you go. You do better, you know better, you do better.
I do like the idea of like having the chainmail bikini as an option, but it needs to be understood as a cheesecake option. Anyway, here's our Adeptus Mechanicus Shrine. This is a very important site in Mass Effect lore. This is where the Prothean beacon that allowed humanity to go beyond the solar system at a rapid pace instead of a colony ship pace was found and introduced us to like from what I understand from Mass Effect lore, we had already kind of like figured out FTL stuff on a very limited basis, but it was like just FTL, and we were still dealing with relativity problems.
Yeah. My understanding was this was the jump. This was the huge jump in technology. We have our first level, great views. I mean, and this is a kind of a return. Not that 2 was bad on the views, mind you, but 2 just...
We didn't spend much time outside in 2.
Right, exactly. And
I will say this, too, as someone who spent a significant amount of their childhood in Arizona, seeing dust storms like that, and dust storms on Mars have been cataloged as being huge.
Oh, yeah.
But seeing that, I've seen and been in the middle of sandstorms before visiting my family in Arizona, and that is exactly what it looks. It looks like a tidal wave. It is beautiful, awe-inspiring, and terrifying all at once.
No, I think that they do, and you'd have to talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson on this one, but I think that they do a really good job with the celestial bodies, as it were. When they're doing worlds, Mars in particular here looks very much like what we see.
Oh, shit, wrong punch.
What we see in footage from the probes.
We so fear the Dark Mechanicum that we are going to punch the soil on Mars 30,000 years early.
I mean, it's understandable. And we finally can live up to our name and fist
Agatha Fisty
and just hand out fistings.
So
and
small lost opportunity here. I appreciate these wheeled armored personnel carriers, and I wish we could drive one around once in a while. I also am thinking, why didn't they just use Makos?
Yeah, I miss my Mako. I do. I miss the Mako. I was a Mako guy.
Yep, Team Mako all the way.
Mm-hmm.
That might have something to do with the fact that I'm a real fan of just the Bradley IFV in the first place. Especially when you saw 2 of them just like totally humiliate a T-90 tank in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. My father actually worked on the testing for the Bradley.
So he got to meet Colonel James Burton then. Lying sack of shit.
Yeah, I don't think he was enlisted, so he's really far down on the level of personnel that were testing it. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly heard of him.
And knew he was a lying sack of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's you find, and obviously you get this in this game, you get characters, and that's one of the things that I really love about uh, uh, BioWare and their writing, is that you will have these fully actualized characters who are just kind of dirtbags. And like in real life, you have people who are just, there's no explanation for why they're a dirtbag. They don't have some kind of tragic past. They're just dirtbags.
When Paul Heyman takes the ring, you know he's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at him. He's a fat ass who's a skullet.
Mm. So, and now we meet. We get, first off, the
In the air vents trope, which is so
Yep.
stupid because no one would create a facility with air vents large enough for an adult to crawl through.
very true. But it's still kind of cool.
First off, it's horribly inefficient.
Completely. But still kind of cool. And we had, there she is.
You know it's all about the
Bang!
Bang, bang. It'd be funny. It would be even more terrifying if she'd actually said bang.
Yeah, that's
She shot them.
that was something I kind of wish happened in the Deadpool movies. I wish every like for just like one shootout
Once.
scene,
He
he would just go bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang. Yeah. So we meet her. We get back together with our paramour, who we have been together with for.
Is this strictly a lesbian romance?
I don't think it counts as that.
Because contrary to what Pornhub tells me, they're all sorry are female.
Yeah.
But at the same time, male has no concept for them, so it's like Liara doesn't view it as a lesbian romance; she views it as a romance.
Exactly. I think that when you expand your horizons, when you're thinking about these sorts of things, you kind of view these you kind of put aside your own like business. You realize that people think differently, and that they have different cultures, and that they have different kind of ways of going about things, especially when they are not a binary species.
No, they're worse than a non-binary species. You know, non-binary implies more than one. They're monoculture.
Yes, they are a mono species.
They all have mono.
Mm.
You need to get some shots.
Indeed. So again, we're looking at these beautiful vistas, well programmed and like over their shoulder.
I also for the record will forgive the lack of blue sky on Mars, which does actually have a blue sky, because there is a dust storm brewing.
Speaking of blue, I'm just lost in her blue eyes.
So anyway, we got to go to the archives, but we got a terrorist cell who's brought almost an entire company of troops to take this.
Yeah. We got to deal with.
I mean, considering a company is like the minimum viable tactical unit in any military or operation anyway, so I don't think it's overkill.
It depends, really. The platoon and squad levels have their usage.
But they are detached from a company that is engaged in active operations.
They often are, yeah. Depending. And of course, these guys are Navy / Marines, so they handle their stuff a little bit differently. Like, they don't have tanks; they have Vega.
Well, Vega is superior to a tank.
He is. He's more.
Tanks don't shoot bullets; they shoot Vegas.
Indeed. So our human Krogan is going to go back to the ship, and we are going to be under fire here. And now we get to see the what? Oh dear.
Cover? What's that?
Yeah.
Yes, walk into the black hole.
Yeah, Liara is absolutely terrifying if you use her correctly.
Well,
I have never used her correctly. That's my problem.
well, the thing
Um,
the thing about that is that they actually made Singularity. First off, you didn't have to work so hard to unlock it like you did in Mass
Right.
Effect 1. And two, they made Singularity so viable
yeah.
as a combat tactic
hmm
by making it chain with other powers, by making Liara in particular, her whole power set revolves around making Singularity even more effective. So it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, it is, and I'm watching it and I'm going, oh, I have not done that, and this is
Fisting.
literally the only time I think I do that in this game.
Um,
I'm sure there are other opportunities to do it.
oh, plenty.
That's the only one I use. The only time I do that.
I've
Okay.
I've done it plenty of times. I've never gone out of my way to do it. But let me put it this way: I've used it more often than I've used that heavy melee thing, which is supposed to,
Yeah.
which they created a whole new animation, a whole new weapon for.
Now, on the other hand, I do use that heavy melee. Um, we right now we saw a little bit of the return um, to weapon enhancements,
Mhm.
picking up stuff that we're going to stick on our weapons to make them move.
Yep.
And that I feel like was a good thing to bring back.
It was a good thing to bring back. It allows you to get the weapons that you like and be able to tweak them so they're effective in the way that you want to use them.
Yep.
Case in point, the Locust submachine gun from the last time was already a precision submachine gun. It was the MP5 of the game.
Right.
But to be able to like attach a smart scope to it and something that would either the submachine gun has these two options: one recycles ammunition and one just adds more. That allows you to use it as a suppressive weapon. All the being able to put an armor piercing option on your semi-automatic rifles, of which now we have more than just one example of, is fantastic.
Yep.
With the shotgun and the sniper rifle, there's only one viable configuration with them, despite all the upgrades. But I digress.
Absolutely. So the also, this is a return to just being able to use whatever weapon you want,
Which is the biggest benefit.
Yeah.
I am a rifle guy, period.
Mhm.
There's a reason the standard infantry weapon is in every military ever imagined is a rifle.
Well, every modern one. So.
So it's like, it was super frustrating in Mass Effect 2 that you couldn't use assault rifles unless you, frankly, sacrificed your ultimate weapon option to take assault rifles.
Yep.
Unless you were a soldier class. And then with the soldier class, you couldn't take the squad automatic weapon. You were limited to just the basic rifles, which was...
Oh, you lit somebody on fire.
Of course I do.
Oh.
Wait.
I do. You're always giving me things. You're such a giving person, and you know how I love seeing bad guys lit on fire.
Look, wait, when life gives you problems, you have two options. Can you set it on fire? If yes, set it on fire. If no, bury it in concrete. That is my decision tree.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad decision tree. And of course, so I kind of like how they have gotten away from the important things needing some sort of button combination to to activate
They finally understood that they just didn't need it.
Oh, it's tell your story. Don't it used to take me out of the story.
Yeah.
Every time I had to, play Simon Says.
Or find that picture you can't read.
Or exactly.
Dr. Eva here, another Pornhub star.
Mm,
of disturbing capability.
mm, mm.
I loved the idea of what Dr. Evil was.
Yeah.
And of course, spoiler warning for people who have not played a 10-plus-year-old game, Dr. Cortland comes in very handy later.
Yes.
So,
Especially for Joker.
especially the Joker. I would have baked a cake.
Um,
Sweetheart, quit
Oh.
being down on yourself. We'll bang, okay?
yeah. We know what makes you feel better. Fisting. Oh,
I think that's the most overt we've gotten with that.
well, we're at the end, and I felt like we needed to at the end kind of leave it all out on the field, as it were.
Let it all hang out.
Yes, indeed. Um,
Ugh.
so again, this is you have this is kind of more the hey, now we're really like you had the beginning of the game where you're kind of learning kind of things and how the game works and whatnot. This is where you're like, okay,
It's
now
time to apply that
you
knowledge.
got to apply that knowledge and you got to master it before you're going to go into something where things get stupidly hard. If you
Speaking of stupidly hard, I think I hit them with the force of a concrete block.
You did. That was some serious top-notch fisting.
Hey, Ashley, take cover, sweetheart.
Yeah. But when you take cover, don't do it in front of me.
That's where my bullets go.
Yeah. So I actually have a weird, like, I don't know what you would call it. I love to shoot those guys through the little eye slit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know why that just tickles me so much to pull that off.
So, in addition to Krogan, we can say one of your fetishes is ocular trauma.
Yes. Yeah, for other people. Then
Then how come you're blind?
I'm not.
People can't see your face. They don't know that you have eyeballs.
It's true.
Boink.
I'm not blind. I'm just an AI.
We're like Prime Radiant sees presidents.
Indeed.
Only nobody knows who we're supposed to be.
Least of all us. So
Yeah, maybe what we really are is that we're the weird personalities within the Reaper chest alt.
Possibly.
Assuming
it could
direct
be a lot of
control.
things. Assuming direct control of Krogan.
But
anyway,
please assume the position and prepare for fisting.
Indeed. Incoming fisting. I like that our fisting is now. We gotta run up to it. We gotta get some.
You know part of me thinks I should open up a shirt and just open up a shirt shop that says I'm Agatha Goddamn Fisty.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
For our 5 fans, if you want a t-shirt that says I'm Agatha Goddamn Fisty,
indeed,
let us know in the comments.
So here we have a room full of stuff. Like this is like
Think those lasers are bad for us?
Very bad. We have a room full of treasure, and you don't get that treasure unless you time things right. And I like that.
Unfortunately, you can also like reset and realign and whatnot. First time I played, it took like 8 tries to get things right, so that way I could get everything all at once.
Absolutely. But you want to get everything, even if you're not going to use it. You want to get it.
I want it all.
Because that is the secret to role-playing games of any kind.
I want it now.
All the stuff.
Do you want to join 3 other homeless wackadoodles who will murder the way across the land and steal everyone's stuff? Then Dungeons and Dragons is for you. Tune in on KTIT every Wednesday at 8.
Indeed.
Maybe that should be the name of our podcast where we talk about like middle-aged men just discovering other people's kinks. KTIT.
KTIT. I like it. But
we pass around a lot of like podcast ideas that are never going to happen.
Absolutely. I think that one should though. So here we have a situation that you have to. Well, I mean, you don't have to.
It's really you really should though. It's really like there's an Xbox property called Gears of War,
Yes.
and this whole thing, and Gears of War like kickstarted the cover-based third-person shooter element to it, and like this was to take advantage of that sort of that sort of
Mm-hmm.
mechanic that player bases already knows. Fortunately, cover-based shooting is not required, as you see here when I introduce people to my Atomic Fist, which is a distinct relative to the bionic elbow used by Dustin Rhodes. Ooh, a a shepherd who's a descendant of the Rhodes.
I know, right? That would be,
It,
galactic nightmare.
it pumps adrenaline in my soul.
Indeed.
Every fight is just out of control.
I.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I am also a Rhodes fan, so we're good. Well, here we are.
And here they.
And here they are, and we need to go there, but
we're
over
here.
So.
And now we can't see over there.
Exactly.
So we got to figure out how to get there from here.
Yep.
And it's a long road getting from there to here.
It almost always is.
It's been a long time, but our time is finally here. And I will see my dream come alive at last. I will touch the sky.
Indeed.
Okay, I'll stop.
No, I was going to let you keep going. I mean, look, our 5 fans may actually like that.
I got faith of the heart. I actually liked that intro to Enterprise. I know a lot of people thought it was tone deaf and not Star Trek, but it was so, yeah, it was that, for me, it was that right level of different.
I liked it.
So, I wish it was the version sung by Rod Stewart, but you know.
Yeah, no, I was a fan. I was a fan of the show anyway.
Well, you're a Star Trek slut.
Yeah, I'm a Star Trek, just absolute 100%. So here we have
partially, all of Cerberus's troops are partially huskified.
Oh, ugly, and smelly.
You think they smell?
I think they smell like rotten flesh.
I think they smell like ozone.
Just disgusting. But it's really so
bitch are my eyes glowing? Do you see veins underneath my face? I put a lot of positive thinking into getting rid of my scars despite my urge to fist you.
So, and not in the good way. So the elusive man kind of becomes the antagonist of this game.
There's no kind of about it.
Yeah, there's no kind of. He's the antagonist of the game, even though the Reapers are the main enemy that you're trying to beat. The elusive man is the antagonist because, as you said earlier, the Reapers are a force of nature. The Reapers are not something. They did not want the Reapers to be something that you could conventionally fight.
Mm-hmm. That's why we go to the whole trouble in this prologue of introducing an ex machina to take care of the Reapers.
Exactly.
And really, it's just a race to the finish line to build it.
Yep, absolutely. So you're, you do a lot of killing of Cerberus troops in this game.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it.
I will say this, I wish it wasn't one or the other. I wish there were times when Cerberus troops were coming in to interfere with your operations more often.
Yeah. No,
so that way you had to repel both Reaper forces and Cerberus, and have it situations where, because Cerberus is not on the side of the Reapers, that they were interacting with each other.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like we said, story-wise, there are some choices we would have made different than BioWare, but this is their story.
Yeah.
And so, no complaints. Not a complaint, just a
statement of fact.
Yeah, just a statement. I would have done this differently
if
I was telling this story. But gosh, it's such a great story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so wonderfully done. I think the interactions between the characters are great. The characters themselves really are fully actualized for a change. I
And
felt like one, they were more characters, really.
well, the other side of it too is that for what amounts to the climax of a long running serial story, they better be actualized.
Good point. Good point.
Um,
And here we have,
I mean, this is a game that is entirely third act, so
a great situation that
you'll see this a whole lot in movies.
the bad guys are not dumb.
Hmm.
The bad guys are ineffectual because you're the PC, but they're not dumb. They actually do smart things like
Booby trap the trams.
booby trap the trams and then try to come in and shoot you because they know that if you get close enough, you're going to fist them.
Mhm.
And no one wants that.
Well, all the bad guys take cover. They set up firing positions. When
Yep.
we're introduced to the engineers will set up their turrets to suppress you. The snipers take pot shots. They don't hang out and try to be mobile. They secure a spot behind cover, and they will make your life a living hell. The only people who are goddamn ninjas are the goddamn ninjas.
Yeah, the ninja guys. Boom.
We can argue back and forth all day how in the Mass Effect universe a sword is dumb, but in certain situations it's not. Particularly extreme close combat, like if you're boarding a ship or something.
Look, they make it work. They make it. They make it work for the story. They make it work in the universe.
And on difficulties, those goddamn ninjas are really a pain in the ass.
But I will be honest with you, I hate ninjas. Like, just in general. Just, I hate them.
Look, I like ninjas more than I like pirates.
Oh, no, that's fair. I'm not a pirate or a ninja guy. Oh, gods.
Yeah, Singularity. It works on the shields. And that dumbass is gonna be dumb enough to walk into it.
Yep. I mean, look, as a group, they are not dumb. As individuals, they tend to do some silly stuff.
So they're Marines.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, they eat crayons.
I mean, they know that the red ones taste the best.
Or are we talking about Cerberus or Marines?
Marines.
Okay.
Cerberus doesn't get crayons. They don't have the privilege of crayons.
Crayons? Those things are like $4 a ton. I'm not going to spend that kind of money.
Exactly. So here we are, another Promethean beacon.
It's quite impressive compared to the one that started this whole mess.
I know, right? Like it's
the one from Mass Effect 1 was like this dinky thing. I think I'm taller than it was.
Yeah, I'll tell you the changes that they made between
Hello, President Bartlett.
Hello.
Yes, because shooting a hologram is gonna work, Liara.
He has never.
Although she wisens up and actually puts it away. Sometimes you see situations like this in games and in movies where they'll hold the gun on the hologram, like, bitch, what do you think you're gonna do?
I tend to, I think about voice actors and I think about the performers because as a performer, that's kind of how I lean. And thinking about Martin Sheen and how the Elusive Man really is the exact opposite of Jed Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
And in every conceivable way, is the antithesis of the genteel character that he played in The West Wing.
He's still genteel. It's just that he is lawful evil.
And I always wanted to ask him if that was a personal choice to do it that way, or if they had written it for him to be that way.
That was a better shot of the collector base than we ever got in Mass Effect 2.
It really was. Well, I mean, look, across the board, 3 is the superior visual game. It's the superior playability game. It's just 3 is really the culmination, and as it should be,
mm-hmm.
as it absolutely should be. everything looks better. And you're always going to have those people who love the original so much that um, they feel like they have to hate on anything new that comes out in a series or in an IP, because they think that I don't know, because they think that they're somehow being unfaithful to the first thing that they loved by loving something that comes next. But for me, every Mass Effect game just got better and better.
Quick interruption of that thought. This is our first introduction to the character Kai Lang, a character who was poorly thought out, and even if we got the Kai Lang that we got in this game, he was underutilized.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about him as the game progresses, but I want to bring that up on my perspective on Kai Lang, because this is where we get our first sight of him, just and need to and I want to address that there's, yeah, he was a misfire, but he didn't have to be.
Right. No, absolutely. 100%. Totally agree with you. Um, well, here we have an interesting situation. What's going on here? Oh,
Why is a sexy doctor person trying over here, like, downloading crap?
oh, geez. Oh,
Jujitsu!
oh, gosh. She just, oh,
I love how she had the option to say, fuck it, I'm just downloading everything now.
yep. And there she runs. And this is another, I don't know, like, it's another thing in the game that really only, like, the chase. Like, you only get
The one.
the one. It's not like, it's, they only put one in there, which I'm sure a lot of people who had a hard time with it for various reasons.
Well, first off,
are glad.
you're never gonna catch up with her, and she's never gonna get away.
Right. All you got to do is stay.
Keep an eye on her.
Yeah, and so you don't have to. A little bit of a spoiler here for a 10-plus-year-old game. You don't have to worry about actually catching her. Although the first time you play it, you think you do.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that this game is very good at.
Yes.
The complaint that I had, and we talked about this in Mass Effect 1, was that you have this mission of vital importance, and they talk about how it's urgent that you accomplish it, but then you can fuck around the entire galaxy for what I assume is like months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's no time limit.
And this is why I call Vega our replacement Krogan.
Well, first off, functionally he is.
I mean, this is exactly what a Krogan would think to do.
Why is it, by the way, that this shuttle gets absolutely wrecked, but Vega's is fine?
Well, because that shuttle was built by capitalism, and our shuttle was built by the military.
I don't know. Is it military grade basically like lowest bidder anyway?
It depends on what it is. It really depends on what it is. As far as
I mean, unless it's the F-22,
we've got robust vehicles. I mean, we've got very robust vehicles. As long as they're, I mean, as long as they're older, we've got some very robust vehicles. And speaking of robust,
why do you think we haven't upgraded the Abrams since 1989?
Oh, dear.
I mean, the Abrams is still technically on the A2 model with minor tweaks, isn't it?
I mean, I would have to look. So here we have this universe's version of a Terminator.
Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum.
Oh, ow. And as somebody who has suffered multiple concussions, I can tell you that sucks. Boop.
There was a funny quirk in the original release of this game. We're playing off of the Legendary Edition.
Yep.
Where if you were playing New Game Plus and you had a gun with a very limited ammo supply, that you could actually enter a fail state in this game because you would like shoot once or twice and not take the EVA body down. And that was like, oh shit. and so the solution was to force you to use the Predator for that particular scene.
Right. Well, here we have made it through our little
Well, but we got a woman down.
journey to Mars. We do, and we need to rush.
I do like that that the one thing that the Reapers could not account for was the Normandy stealth systems, because we basically couldn't get to operate with damn near impunity.
Yeah, well, so
Um,
and this is my thought is that the stealth system.
How much you want to bet that Vega was going, why do I get the robot bitch?
And exactly, the for me, the stealth systems are a purely human invention.
Mhm.
That no one else came up with this idea, and so it is so far away from the technology that the Reapers use that it's not on their radar, that they're not capable of countering it because it's so different from everything else. It's not on the invention track that they have set for everyone.
It's the same thing with aircraft carriers in space. The other species didn't think to do it, and so when it was, hey, you got too many dreadnoughts, says who? Says our laws. I'm not a signatory to that treaty. You got to be one if you want to be part of the galactic community. What happens if we don't? Look at the Batarians. Okay, so we're gonna limit our dreadnoughts, but we've got all these freaking hulls that we built in order to slap the Turians one. So what do we do with them? Well, you gotta decommission them. Do we have to? Well, they can't be. You can't have more than X number of dreadnoughts. We're gonna do something with them. What are you gonna do? Turn them into museums and training ships? No.
No, we're
What-
looking at our past and we're gonna go aircraft carriers. So here we have
Now, manned aircraft carriers in space combat are a bad idea.
They're stupid as hell, but
Now,
cool.
now drone fighters in space are actually brilliant.
So here we have our MacGuffin. Every good sci-fi property has a MacGuffin. MacGuffins are just, and people use the term MacGuffin in a derogatory way a lot of times, and I think that is the wrong way to look at it. I think MacGuffins are a vital part of science fiction storytelling, and I think that they are important.
Yep. Yeah. And sometimes, particularly, the other accusation, which is more damning, is the ex machina.
Yeah. I'm not as much a fan as the Ex Machina.
In a comedy story, sometimes it's important to take the ex machina.
Yes. If it's a comedy story, I'm all in it.
But this is not a comedy story.
No.
I would not call it an ex machina because the game establishes the origins of the Crucible and how it's not a Prothean creation, and how it's the culmination of cycle after cycle after cycle after cycle trying to resist the Reapers and trying to get and trying to affect an end to the change. And in some ways, it's that generational hope. It's that message in the bottle. It's that, you must succeed where I have failed, or you're doomed to, sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Or you're Doom Eternal, or you're Doom 2016. I'm sorry, I really love the Doom franchise.
Look, Doom Guy would end this, okay? Doom Guy would kill Reapers with his bare hands.
Indeed.
It's Doom Guy. And
so, a return to our favorite place in the universe, and I do not say that with any irony or sarcasm whatsoever. I love the Citadel.
I love the visuals of the Citadel from 3. I think, and now 4, I think, has beautiful, beautiful visuals, but
the Nexus in open space just does not work.
Yeah, it's this right here where it's at. The way that it's set up, it's just stunning. And now obviously this is a video game, but it gives you a feel of scale.
All this time and all the times I've played this, I've just now noticed that the Normandy cutting through the cloud, or cutting through the nebula, is actually leaving an area of like clouds parting as it flies through.
It's their attention to detail is brilliant.
It's little things that you've never noticed before, but you do when you are actually
when
watching
you're watching it instead of playing. Their attention to details.
How come they don't have either an anti-gravity gurney, or if that just takes way too much energy, how come they don't have a gurney on wheels?
Um, so yeah, I mean that is one of those little things. I would say it's probably because of the speed factor. You want to get in and get out quickly, and getting things and materials and stuff like that in there.
But the other side was that Ashley clearly suffered a spinal injury.
Uh, no, I don't disagree. Um, I agree with you. I think this
I
is
do
just,
love this where it's like, you're clearly not happy about this promotion. Should I be happy for you?
ah,
It's sort of like the when someone says I'm divorcing my spouse, and you're like, oh, everyone says the same thing. Oh, that's too bad. No one says, oh, wow, well, you must feel that's absolutely necessary. Good on you.
no. Somebody,
Good on you for making a decision that had to be made.
is yeah, no. Here we have another reoccurring character, Bailey, who I am a fan of. I'm a fan of both him and the actor who plays him.
Paul Hogan.
I, I'm. I think we've said this a couple of times, and I think we get it wrong every time. I think he's passed away. Maybe not. I hope not. Uh,
No, it's not Paul Hogan. Paul Hogan is Crocodile Dundee.
exactly. Exactly.
But I want to say it's Paul. Something.
Yeah. And he's gonna walk off, and you know,
No, Michael Hogan.
Michael
I was
Hogan.
right on the last name.
Yes. I you know
It's
the
that my voice is gravelly because I gargle every morning after I brush my teeth, a combination of whiskey and razor blades.
I like what they have done, where instead of having kind of the attempt at an open world that one
Mm-hmm.
did, the hub has specific, okay, area, boom, boom, boom. You can't walk to each area
You get on
through
an
another
elevator
area.
and you go, and
Yeah.
and they're not even stacked on top of each other. It's sort of like you're gonna go here and we'll figure out how to get you there.
Right. And I think that, at least for me, I feel that it's a better way of doing it than it but it also is, I think, better than the way two did it,
Mm-hmm.
where it was very limited and very, where each area was very
This is a very poor setup for a council meeting because the counselors
that,
should be facing across from each other and deliberating.
yeah, I am regretting saving them.
The whole reason why I'm not regretting saving them is because of another aspect of our characterization, which is, I fucking told you!
Yes.
And
That's
I'm gonna rub it in your damn faces.
I do feel like the one thing about Mass Effect is a game of giant I freaking told you so. And it's got that trope of, you've got the one person that knows what's coming and everybody ignores them, and then it comes anyways and they all act surprised.
Mm-hmm.
um uh so you got that going on for you.
Um,
But we have another meeting with the council, and obviously the council is
you told us this was coming for 2 years, but now that it's actually here, we are just so busy with this war that we can't help you.
I find the council to be kind of a mini antagonist in these games, like not quite as much an antagonist as Sauron or the collectors,
To
but
use the biblical analogies here, um, the elusive man is Judas for humanity.
yeah,
The council is Thomas.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I mean, they are doubting.
we can prove right every single time, and they're still going to doubt us.
Yeah, no, I mean they're awful, but I'll tell you, the alien ones aren't nearly as bad as Odina.
Look, the thing with Udina is that in Mass Effect 3, I sympathize with him the entire time. because Udina didn't believe in the Reaper threat, but now that he's here, he's ready. He's ready, willing, and able to do whatever it takes. The problem is he chose the wrong side. And I can't forgive him for choosing the wrong side in the end, but I will always understand what led to his actions because the council was just useless.
Well,
And we know this is useless because we are going to be undergoing a process. We are going to bypass the council and start working directly with the different species leadership.
yeah.
They're planetary governments, they're colony governments, we're not dealing with the UN anymore. We're going directly to the president.
It's funny you said the UN. I really feel like with the counselors, like they portray them as having a lot of power and having a lot of, and I think that possibly they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then just in my head, right, I'm saying that these guys are the most unliked politicians in their world, and that's who gets sent to be the council, is people that they do not want around.
Which is why we should have sent Adina instead of Anderson.
Because the mistake we made was sending somebody that could actually do the job well. We should have sent somebody.
God, what? Anderson, my dude. You realize we're all pointless. It's like those diplomats on the disarmament planet in Star Trek V. The Klingon general had the right of it.
Yeah, no, or like the first season of Babylon 5, with the ambassadors being there. They're not. There's no. They have no power in their world. They have no decision making power really. Like they act like they have decision making power, and you go to them and whatnot, but then they don't do anything. And I think that they don't do anything because they can't do anything.
The Centauri one reveled in his obscurity. Loved the fact that he could basically live a life of luxury and not actually be responsible for anything. The reptilian guy, I forget his species name, was so Narn. He was so frustrated by his lack of power.
It was the show itself is beautiful,
which is why he spent his entire career there. Once he kind of like, I don't want to say became comfortable, but became accepting of his lack of power, fucking with the Centauri guy. Because they really loved each other.
It's true. I view the Citadel very much akin to Babylon 5, and so in my head I'm thinking these guys don't do anything because they can't do anything, and Odina. I think has a little bit of a change of heart in that he no longer just wants to be the most important guy. He actually wants to. I agree with you. I think he actually wants to save humanity. I still want to fist him. I still want to punch him square in the jaw.
Oh, we're beyond fisting him. I'm going to shoot him in the face.
I want to rock his jaw meat. Because he just annoys me. Honestly,
but that said, as he states right now, he is the most powerful human being in the galaxy, and capable of moving mountains. But now he has to move planets. So he's as far as our shepherd is concerned, Udina is all we got.
Hey, and we're going to use him.
Yeah, we're going to use him, which means that we got to sympathize with him, which means that we got to emote with him.
Indeed.
So that's why I'm taking the time to get to
it's
talking to him, and it's like, what do you know? What have you lost anyone? Let's get to each other.
Yeah. I think that much like with everything else in Mass Effect, it just gets better every game, and I think that the characterization of Udina, while I still want to rock his jaw meat, gets better into
sounds dirty.
I know, right? He gets better. He does, and he gets more fully actualized. And as you said, it's the third game. They damn well better be fully actualized by now. If every game just gave us the same wooden one-dimensional characters that one did, why would you keep playing them?
Yeah,
you would go, one was okay, it was fun. Da.
So anyway, that's about that for this chapter. We are going to be taking off to Palaven to find ourselves a Turian head of state to work with, which also means, given the Turians, that they are a general as well, because the Turians are a military dictatorship.
Yep, absolutely.
at least in the Roman sense of the word.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll take care of that next time. Until then, I'm JP Arbiter,
I'm Captain Jack.
and I think I will let our Commander Shepard take us away. Agatha,
Deuces.
please. I should go. We'll bang, okay?